Hello everyone, I'm Untitled, and today I'm reviewing my PC case, the Corsair SPEC Omega RGB. I've been using this case for 3 years now, originally buying it because I thought it looked best. I still think it does, although the TD500 mesh would be a competitor for me, a more modern and airflow focused case from Cooler Master. As I said, this case is not very airflow focused with a tiny intake at the bottom. And really, if you buy this case, it's for the looks. It's also pricier than most cases, at around 150 bucks as far as I could find. As I said, I've been using this case for 3 years now, so I'll quickly run you through its main flaws in my opinion. First of all, the screws are not very durable. I open up my case more than average, not a lot, but every few months I may have a small accessories like a Wi-Fi card, or I may improve my cable management. And at some point my screws wore out and my glass panel got stuck, which almost led me to damage it. So I replaced the screws with cheap thumbscrews from eBay, and it also made opening up the case a lot faster and easier, because you don't need the Allen wrench that is needed for these screws. I think that's not as much a problem if you build it once and never touch it again, but I will leave a link to the screws I use in case you find this a problem. Second of all, the front panel is not very accessible if you want replacement fans or if you want to add extra fans to improve the airflow slightly. So apparently it is possible. People even say that the front panel is modular, but I've tried it and I couldn't figure it out. So it might be doable, but basically act as if it isn't possible. Last of all, and probably most importantly, if you don't plan on tweaking your setup much, is a pretty bad cable management room in this case. It consists of two parts. First of all, the SSD holders, which we'll come back to, and second of all, that the back is simply very thin, so you can't stack a lot of cables against each other. The SSD holders are pretty bad for several reasons. First of all, there's a spring system here in the bottom, which means that you can connect cables there. Second of all, this spring system is poorly designed, which means that the SSDs tend to press against these retention clips that are supposed to keep them in. These then tend to break, which is annoying because it, one, pushes your SSDs up, and two, it means that, well, there's nothing holding them in place. So let's say you shake your case around, it might fall out and the cables become even more of a mess. And because the case is so thin, this also means that around this area you can have cables going, for example, over the SSD holders. Which means if you have short SATA cables, you may not be able to connect some of your SSDs. And if you fill all these slots up with drives, you might not have space for the cables at all. So I would absolutely not recommend this for having a lot of drives. I myself have put one of them even in the larger drive bay to get rid of a lot of cables, as these don't fit elsewhere. For example, a half connected SATA cable, because putting several drives here is a massive pain. I hope you found that useful. I still think it's a very nice case, even despite its issues, because I do think it has an original look and it isn't completely closed off from air, like for example the H510 famous NZXT case that's not very good in airflow.